In the years after the collapse, the world had no guardians. It had only Iron Lords. Immortal, fearless, we fought to protect the survivors of a once great age. Our battle was about more than crawling back from the shadows. The Iron Lords would give humanity back its future. Some know the legend, but no one truly knows how the Iron Lords died their final deaths. That was something you had to be there for, to witness, to remember, to know even heroes can die, and survival is not always a victory. Now I am the lone sentry, and my watch is eternal, waiting for the day when whatever we disturbed awakens. The Iron Lords are gone, but our fight is far from over.
The House of Devils is back, and they're digging into old Golden Age research labs all across the system. This isn't a simple smash and grab. They're on a mission. At first, the Vanguard wasn't particularly concerned. At least, not until the Devils decided to move back into the Cosmodrome. Now the Devils are shifting a massive amount of resources to an area nearby that's been dark for centuries. Normally, I'd say it's just another day. Except, what's really got everyone talking is that Lord Saladin has left his post at the Iron Banner to take charge of the situation personally. Only rather than go straight to the Cosmodrome, Saladin wants us to investigate an abandoned observatory in the mountains. Very strange.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rise of Iron. What's up, YouTube? Bigman Shenanigans, back with what you just saw is the release of Rise of Iron on Destiny. That trailer I thought was absolutely amazing. Not trailer. This was the intro cutscene when you started up the first mission. And in the background here, you'll just be seeing me running through the first mission with my wife for the very first time. There is a couple almost jump scares that I managed to do to myself. One of which was right after the gondola scene, so see if you can catch it. I almost go flying out the mountainside all on my own. But this is just kind of a showcase, I guess, to start with, of Rise of Iron. If you haven't already got it, if you don't play Destiny and you want to see what it is, this is just kind of an overview of it. I'll give my opinion on it, and we'll go from there. But I originally wanted to get this video out yesterday on Wednesday, which would have been the day after release. And I decided to hold off one day just because the first day I did nothing but PvE, which was me going through some of the story missions, going up some of the quest lines, and anything like that. And I thought it wasn't really fair to judge the game, I guess, fully yet until I had a chance to play the multiplayer, the new multiplayer game mode. And I spent most of yesterday doing that, grinding some of the questing, the quest logs, and the Crucible, which is the PvP mode, and give it a little more, I guess, overview of the entire DLC, at least what's released so far, versus just giving a PvE review. The PvE for me, honestly, a little bit disappointed. The main kind of story behind this DLC is, as you saw in the beginning, every one of the Iron Lords, which is like the big head honchos that kind of control what's called the Iron Banner and the Felwinter's Peak, and they all die except for one, which we have seen Lord Saladin in the game for quite some time. He comes with the monthly event called the Iron Banner, which is simply just a certain game mode over and over again. It doesn't randomize. It's 6 versus 6, either Control, Clash, or Rift has been a new one they added into the sequence. And it's just 6v6 game mode. Your objective is obviously to win, but you get rewards at rank 3. You get a armor piece, and 5 you get a weapon, and that's your goal. You want to get to rank 5. That's when you get the most reward out of it if you get to the highest level, and it's just fun to play normally because it's a little more competitive, a little more diversity of players. If you play Crucible normally, you seem to get the same kind of players. You play against 6 really, really good players or 6 really, really bad players. My luck, I normally get stuck with the good kids, so it's pretty much 1v6. I mean, I get to take out an entire team of good players, and depends on the game. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. But this isn't about that. This is just talking about you becoming an Iron Lord. That's really what this whole DLC was kind of based around, is the Iron Lords are gone. You are the new Iron Lord. You're becoming a new Iron Lord. And the storyline looked awesome. I couldn't wait to get started on it. But really disappointed. There's only a few missions in that storyline. You go through, this is the first one, and there's the gondola exploding, and I screamed a little bit and I jumped off, and I think you don't actually slide down as much as I thought you did. And I keep running thinking I'm just pushing forward and almost run off the edge of the cliff, and I squeal a little bit again. Thankfully there's no in-game mic sound from me, because I probably would have broke everyone's eardrums on that too, those two events. But moving back to the storyline, there's just not a whole lot. Like, you go against an enemy called the Siva, which is kind of like nanobites almost in a sense. And you can't really control them. The Fallen have taken control of them and are kind of manipulating themselves. They're modifying themselves so they're a little bit better. And Siva is this like red, it's like this red substance you see growing like vines everywhere. I think there's a couple in this video you'll see. There's a lot more later on down the line. But there's just really not much storyline to it. I mean, you find Siva. In this first one, you fight a old servitor, which is this giant eyeball. It has been rebuilt, and you fight him, and you're supposed to chase him through most of the storyline. And really, there's not much else to that. You chase him through a couple missions, and then you're told you have to kill or contain the Siva outbreak. So we go back to the area where the opening cutscene, you see the Iron Lords die. You yourself as a guardian go back in there and face off against the reanimated forms of the Iron Lords. Spoiler alert for anyone. And there's not really a whole lot. I mean, you kill 3 people in it, and then you do a kind of like an epic escape as the timer is going down, and then the doors close. I believe there's an explosion. Just like the opening cutscene, more or less. I mean, we pretty much just replay exactly what they did, except we escape and they don't, unfortunately. And all of 5-6 missions is the main quest line. You get called the Young Wolf. The Iron Lords are kind of like the wolf. Their emblem is like the wolf. So you are the Young Wolf. You get the exotic sword, and that's the entire new storyline. There is quite a few missions still. I mean, there's 2. Additionally to the storyline, there's like 2 strikes you can do, which are 3-person PvE modes. It's kind of like the story mission here, except there's a big boss at the end that gives good rewards normally. And there's a couple different side quest lines. One of them is going for the famous or infamous, depending on how you depending on how you think of it. The Gallahorn is another quest line. There's a couple other exotic weapons, which are just supposed to be the most powerful weapons in the game, more or less. They're extremely rare and supposed to be hard to get. The quest lines were, I wouldn't say they're even hard. They're time consuming, and besides the Gallahorn, they're not terribly rewarding. I was like I said, honestly, kind of disappointed in the fact that this really wasn't a whole lot to it. The PvP side of it, really all they added was a new game mode called Supremacy. They added some new maps, and again, they added Supremacy, which was kill confirmed, more or less. It drops crests instead of dog tags. You collect the enemy ones to score points. You deny the teammates ones to negate the enemy from getting points. Simple as that. And that's about it in PvP. I was really... They made this so if you're a beginner player getting into it, I think you're going to be disappointed. If you are a person that loves Destiny, I think you will like... If you kind of played for a while and then left during Taken King, I think you'll enjoy coming back and playing again. But as Destiny players know, the grind is real. This game is still all about the grinding. Like I said, we finished the entire, I think almost every quest and storyline that was available on day 1 on release day. I didn't take off work or anything to do it. I played after when I got home and did more than enough still. It wasn't... I was very not impressed. And I'm hoping there's still more when the raid comes out on Friday and some other quest lines maybe they'll unlock in time. But I said, if you're new to the game, I would honestly say stay away from it unless you like the grind. Some players like the grind, some people don't like the grind. I'm really not impressed with it. If I had to give it a rating, probably as a newcomer, I'd probably say it's like a 6.5. As far as being a Destiny player and loving the game to start with, and knowing that how Bungie makes their games, it's going to be a ton of grinding and nothing else, I'd say it's probably an 8. I mean, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of content. It is amazing for me to come back to this game because I absolutely love this game. For those who know me personally, I played a lot of Destiny, then I got away from it, and then I came back to it. So it's nice to be able to play this game again, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot of content. I don't know how long we're going to be on it. But we're going to see the final cutscene here in a second for this mission. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll come back to you guys later with another Destiny video. Talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.
Even old wolves still bite. Shiro, what's your status?
Circling around to make sure the area is clear. Be there in a sec.
Well done, Guardian. The temple is secure. Now we can...
Shiro, get a lock on.
I just picked up... Wait. Multiple impacts near the wall in Sector 17.
They're attacking the sensor grid. They must know where Siva is.
Guardian, go to the Cosmodrome immediately. If Sepix escapes, the Fallen won't be our only problem.